You're a developer, you're doing something that a lot of people aspire to do. This is Los Angeles, you're developing beautiful homes. This is literally what you walk around partially every single day. I know you're at job sites a lot. Tell us about your past a little bit and your experience as a real estate developer.
Oh, wow. That's a deep question.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode on the second channel. A few weeks ago, we toured this phenomenal property in Hidden Hills, California on our main channel. And a lot of you seem to really like this modern barn house and its design elements and all the finishes that we saw at that house. That day, we also had a chance to talk to the developer of that project, Max, and ask him a few questions in regards to his development in Hidden Hills. So enjoy the interview. All right, everyone, so we got Max here, who's the designer and the developer of this project. Max, thank you for inviting us out here.
Thank you.
Tell us a little bit your story. How did you get into real estate development in your company?
So I came to the United States 10 years ago, started to develop properties, started from the smaller projects, then from like 4,000 square feet, and then went 6,000 square feet, 7, 8, 9, and now this project is 12,000 square feet. 4 years ago, I started the interior design company because a lot of clients would see the house in a certain location and they would ask, okay, we have the similar land in Brentwood and we would like the similar house, but not in Hollywood Hills, but in the Brentwood because this is more family and we like your style.
Amazing, amazing. So I want to bring the attention towards this house because you said this is your modern barn house design, right? So you have these vaulted volumes, which looks really cool, and you brought a lot of industrial and modern elements to this design. What was your overall vision for this property? Because it stands out so differently.
So we wanted to create our vision of modern barn house, and from the very beginning, I knew that I want to use a lot of structural steel in the interior. But at the same time, a lot of people, when you just tell them we're going to use interior structural beams, they would say, oh, this is cold, this is not for us. That was the biggest challenge, to make it warm, to make it cozy, to make it feels like you're at home.
Gotcha. Another detail which is very significant in this house is right behind us actually.
Yeah.
This massive gas fireplace. When I initially met you told me the whole story behind it, and I kind of couldn't believe how much work went into just the fireplace alone. So can you kind of tell us the story from your perspective a little bit?
So with the fireplace, we went into a lot of details. I knew that that's the first thing that you see when you walk into the house. That's the first impression. That's the main element of the house. And when you're in a formal living room where we're at right now, it's connected to the main dining room, and I want that to have one flow. So when you entertain and you have people at a dining table, you have some parties that are here, they have to feel together, but at the same time, I wanted the massive brass element in the center. The color is unique because this is a handmade brass, and that's why this patina that you see into the grayish tones, this is all handmade in Italy. That's what you see at the final product.
Gotcha. I mean, it certainly looks incredible. And speaking of Italy, you mentioned to me something like 2 containers worth of marble you brought for this house. Is that true? Is that just for the flooring, or you brought additional for like the bathrooms and stuff?
So 2 containers was just for the flooring and for the pool area. So it was 40,000 kilograms. So
40 tons?
40 tons, yes. So it was 40 tons or 80,000 pounds of marble.
That's
here.
insane.
And then we unload it here, we install it. It's a lot of work, but separate, we brought the full marble kitchen, the marble fireplaces, all that came separately because we have 2 huge marble elements in the kitchen, as you saw.
Gotcha.
The full marble island, and behind there is a cantilevered element that is sticking out of the brass panels, also made of marble.
Gotcha. So that was fabricated differently.
Yes.
Got it. Got it. Let's talk about that kitchen also. Super sleek. You know, cladding the entire island with marble is certainly not a easy challenge, let's call it that way. And during our tour, I showed Mikey that right behind those marble doors, you actually have the door inserts, kind of. How did you come up with that whole design? How did you fabricate it? Again, I know it looks super sleek and kind of simple, but there's a ton of corners there. That island is certainly not easy to produce.
So that island is a complicated piece just because we're using the German hardware to open the doors and to have the soft closing, soft open. And that German hardware have a certain weight that it can handle. That's why each piece of marble we have to chip in from the inside. We have to curve
To lighten it up.
To lighten up, yes.
And not to mention, correct me if I'm wrong, I almost saw double hinges on each opening just so you can accommodate that weight, right?
Yes, it's all about weight, it's all about marble. That's all the technicality is just to fight the weight of the marble.
I'm glad you mentioned all this because a lot of people just judge design based on what they see, but just on that kitchen island alone, the amount of engineering that goes into that is incredible. Another detail that you pointed out to me, those wood paneling you have on the hallways, doors that kind of clads your some of your interior doors. It's rift oak, but the way you explained it to me was beautiful, how they have each layers and how they kind of combine them together. Can you tell us about that?
So on the wood panels, what they do, they have this oak underwater for 50 years. After they underwater, it collects that dark gray color that you see on the wood. So all those veins of dark gray is not chemical. It's not something that we add or painted. This is a natural gray of the oak that it
Absorbs from the water.
Yes, from the water in like 50 years underwater. After that, they take it out and then they slice it to the veneer, very, very thin veneer. And after that, each piece is numbered, each piece is labeled. We have a batch with the, from one tree. So we know that all our panels are going to be in a similar
veins and designs.
Yes. And the color-wise, because each tree takes it as a natural material, takes it differently. So we have a different batch, for example, in master bathroom upstairs. I couldn't make a decision on the ceiling for a long time because to make panels on the ceiling, it's like 5 times more complicated than the wall.
Really?
Yeah, because there is a lot of lights, it's a lot of ACs, the vents, everything have to be...
You gotta open up everything perfectly and all
You
that.
have to make cutouts in Italy on the technical drawings, measurements, everything have to be perfect. And then when the fire sprinkler guy came and started to insert his stuff, and then it's another additional holes, and everything is already in production. It was crazy. Like each piece is like very complicated. I'm not gonna get into it, but each piece has its own complication. So after that, they install that veneer and they glue it on the plywood, and seems like a very long process already, but only after that we start all the technical drawings. And there is 300 pages of technical drawings to make it look like you see.
That effortless.
Yes.
Okay, I'm glad we heard that story. That's incredible. Now I want to talk about the backyard. The pool design is a little unique. You went with the above ground. You created an infinity edge. Can you kind of tell us your vision there? I know you use the same marble, so there's a lot of uniformity in that pool. Kind of like your overall perspective, why you went that direction.
So exactly where we're sitting right now, that was the whole idea. I want the water to overflow the infinity towards the living room.
Okay.
That's why I elevated up. As you see the hill behind, I didn't want it to be too much, because if pool would be sitting lower,
it would have been even steeper.
Yes, the hill would be steeper, we would get less land, and so there is a lot of decisions combined, but the main one is the water to be here in the living room.
Gotcha. So you have an incredible pool house there, automatic glass doors. You kind of replicated the architectural details of the main home in there. But more impressive than that is that detached guest home. Me and Mikey were almost like freaking out when we were touring there. The way it's framed, the zero edge pull, that beautiful tree on the back. Tell us the vision there, because I gotta be honest with you, I think that's one of the best guest homes we've ever toured on this channel, and we've toured a lot of good properties.
Thank you. Thanks. So, with the guest house, the first time I get into this property, first time I saw it, and there was a tennis court. When I saw the tennis court, my first decision was it must be a guest house here that would be facing that tree, because that tree is outstanding, beautiful. To me, it looks like Avatar, movie, something like not even real. And I knew that one of the bedrooms must look at the tree, and I wanted that separate pool, which is not easy to get in Hidden Hills, but I wanted a separate pool, separate guest house. I wanted to feel like a retreat, and I wanted people to live here, but at the same time have a separate unit. Maybe they will use it as a master bedroom, maybe as a guest house, but that's a
You want it to be special.
Yes.
Got it. Another thing that differentiates your home from the other homes we tour, a lot of the homes we tour are staged. This is not staged. Every single one of the furniture that we saw, decorations, I'm pretty sure you handpicked them. Why you value curating the space so much like this? You could have easily gone with a staging company rather than having this expensive furniture and decor around.
I grew up in Europe, okay? I grew up in Ukraine. I spent a lot of time in Europe. I want to show people here that the house with the right furniture can look very different.
I want to bring another question to you because, looking at the price point, some of your finishes are incredibly exquisite and certainly not cheap. I mean, why you go this far at this price point with all your finishes and details? Like, does it mean to you, or you're more like, I'm going to do what it feels right and it turns out the way it turns out?
In LA, everything is very spec. The whole market is very plain because everybody is only driven by numbers. I wanted to get creative here, to get different, and for myself, I wanted to be proud of the product. That's why I took a little different approach. I wanted to spend as much as I want on the project and see how people would appreciate it. What I saw when the people start to walk in, people understand, people appreciate. This is something that people already want, because the whole market is not unique at all. Everything is at a certain price point.
Yeah, everybody's kind of playing the game, doing a little bit of tweaking.
They play the game in the price range. If they know, okay, we're below 10 million, okay, that's what we do. A marble fireplace, good. Tile, good. And here we go. Below 20 million, okay, a little bit more. But again, they have their limits. Why? Because it's all driven by numbers. I wanted to see, what if I invest more? What do I get?
Gotcha. I mean, it's certainly a bold approach, but I hear you, because when we toured this place, every inch of this house, wherever you look, the cabinetry, vanity, furniture, it shows that. Guest home, literally every part of it. Now, I think I forgot to ask you this, but those chandeliers on top of the dining room table, those are arguably one of the most unique chandeliers we've ever seen. Tell us the story there. I know you spent a lot of money on those two chandeliers, and why you really wanted to have that piece right on top of your dining table.
Every year, I go to Italy for the Milan Fair of Interior Design, and there is a beautiful company, Preciosa. They have offices in Italy and in Czech Republic, and they have absolutely beautiful stuff. Every year they have like a beautiful stand. This chandelier, I saw it 3 years ago, and I knew exactly that it must be here. That's it for sure. That's my main living room chandelier. First time I saw it. When you look at it from the far, it feels like plastic, but when you get close, you understand that this is the real brass, and each chandelier is like 85 kilograms, which is 170 pounds each. That's why we had to attach it to the structural beam, because it's really heavy. But I still love it. Every day I look at it, I know that I didn't make a mistake.
You made the right call.
Yeah.
I love that, and you know why? Because you curate like literally the space with everything. Now, obviously this is not your first project. You developed homes before. In fact, you developed a home for a celebrity. I don't know if you have developed a home for another celebrities, but the one that I know, and I recognize it from the reclaim wood siding on the exterior, is Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that house. How did that project go, and how was your kind of experience selling the home to Logan Paul?
That's just unique, absolutely unique experience. So that house in Encina, I never worked in Encina before.
Okay.
I got a call from a friend. He's like, I have a property. I'm thinking to sell it, but I don't know what to do with it. Maybe something. I went in. I saw a lot of potential. The house inside was from a famous architect, but it was very dark, absolutely not livable. And from spending 2 hours, I knew what exactly needed for that house to make it perfect. I got in, I did renovation, did addition, another 2,000 square feet. I added garage, I got a guest house, I made a different floor plan. And then that house was for the perfect family. So it's a master bedroom, kids bedroom, so strictly family house. It's a huge lawn because it's an acre flat in Encino, huge land. Super private, huge lawn, and I knew from the beginning it's gonna be for a family, kids gonna be running on that lawn. Perfect, the guest house in the end. And then I went on the market. A few months later, I got a call. Hey, can you open a house tonight? I have a buyer. Can somebody open? Yeah, sure. Opened the house. My assistant opened the house. And I got a call from assistant. He's like, I don't know what's going on, but a very, very young guy, like 22 years old, is very excited about the house. I'm like, okay, I mean, probably a son or something like that. So next day I got an offer. And after I got an offer, we went into negotiation. And 3 days later, we went to escrow. 5 days into escrow, I got a call. Hey, it's Tuesday. Can the buyer move in on Thursday? Like, what? I'm like, I have a staging furniture in the house. They won't be able to move the staging furniture. He's like, no. They will take care of it. Don't worry. Just leave it. Just give the key and leave.
They just want access.
Just want the key, and you have to bring personally the key to the buyer. I'm like, wow. I mean, okay.
Okay.
I call escrow company. I'm like, I'm so sorry. I know it's a weird question. I know we're like 7 days into escrow. Real weird question. Do you have the money? They're like, yeah, we have a full amount. I'm like, okay. Then means I'm giving the key on Thursday. Yeah, thank you. They're like, yeah, we're ready to close.
Wow. That's how he bought it, huh?
Yeah.
That's a funny story.
So, and then I met Logan, I gave him a key, and since then, I never buy furniture into the kids' bedrooms.
Really?
Never, yeah.
Never identify that?
No, you never think that that's gonna be for sure kids' bedroom, because right now, this is not a kid's bedroom. All the friends, everybody who is friends with him, they live in the house, they shoot YouTube. It's a business. It's like a business place.
Yeah, it's like a little his compound, and I know he loves that house.
He loves it.
Yeah, he loves
I'm really happy, and he keep texting me that it's great. He's happy with it. Really great.
Amazing. Now this is a little bit off subject, but it's kind of in subject. I want to ask you. You're a developer, you're doing something that a lot of people aspire to do. This is Los Angeles, you're developing beautiful homes. This is literally what you walk around partially every single day. I know you're at job sites a lot. Tell us about your past a little bit and your experience as a real estate developer.
Oh, wow. That's a deep question. I don't know what to say. Like, I started in Ukraine to just build home for myself. And I started from 13,000 square feet. I was 21 years old. I wanted a big house. and I had completely different businesses running. And I realized that I want to spend more and more time at the construction site, which is a weird feeling. Then I moved to LA because LA is the best market in the world for single-family residences. There is no better place.
If you're good at your job.
I mean, yeah, probably, probably, because I wanted to build, you know, beautiful. I wanted to build modern.
You wanted to push yourself.
And I want people to understand. It's very hard to explain people in Ukraine that modern, a lot of people with money won't understand. That's why I moved here, just to build homes. But then at the same time, I had you know, TV shows in Russia, something in Ukraine, but I would always go back to the construction. So I would do everything I did in the media for Russia was only in the time when docks will be in the city.
Gotcha.
All the construction drawings in the city, basically you don't have much to do.
Gotcha.
If you're a developer. Right now I'm designing for another people, so I have constantly stuff and I have much more projects. I started from one project at a time, as you know, it's normal.
Yeah.
So when you do one project at a time, when you submit something to the city,
You have to wait on it. And
it's
all that.
not the 2 weeks. That's why the stages I just use that time for something else. But major was always construction. My dream was always to build homes of this scale and get to where I have right now.
Gotcha. And if you would give any advice to anyone who wants to get in this business, what are some of the, you know, simple and kind of practical advices you would give to them to start their journey as a real estate developer?
I would say don't look at the specs. Just try to make something different, something where you would be unique in it. People would recognize your work. With the reclaimed wood, it's really strange, but you knew it from the beginning when you walk in that's a Logan Paul's home. So there is details like that, but I want to make, you know, for myself, I want to do those details more and more complicated.
Amazing, amazing. Well, Max, thank you so much.
Thank you
for having us here. It's been an amazing day, and you guys can find Max's information in the description of the video, and that's it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, everyone, that's it for the interview. I hope you all enjoyed it, and definitely let us know in the comment section if you guys want us to feature more of the developers, engineers, architects, and people that are behind these projects that we feature on our main channel. And if you enjoyed this video, just make sure to give us a like. If you have any questions or input, as always, leave us a comment down below. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to our second channel, and we'll see you guys next week.